Cassie and Eric here, and thanks for joining us on She Talks, He Listens, the podcast where we dive into the ups and downs of relationships through all of life's twists and turns.
We're here to share our journey with you and explore the many lessons we've learned along the way. Whether you're just starting out, hoping to strengthen your relationship, or working to reconnect, we've got you covered. Join us as we challenge and inspire you to grow together and become the very best versions of yourself, side by side.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy New Year.
2025.
25.
Crazy.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I feel like that Christmas break, or I guess that last week and a half from, a couple days before Christmas to now, it just is a blur all the time.
Well, and we told y'all we were going to record another podcast, and we didn't because I would say we were surviving, not thriving.
We were surviving.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit more on that today.
Although daycare was open, we decided to keep our daughter home.
Just for a few days.
We did give her a nice little break from daycare as well.
She loved it. So we are here. We're so excited to kick off 2025. For today's episode, we want to talk about a few funny things that happened over Christmas break. And then we want to talk about 2025 planning and vision boards and what we do as a couple to really tee up the year. So we're excited to share that with you guys. But what our favorite part of doing the podcast so far has been is hearing you guys' feedback and reading the messages about your favorite parts of the episode. So I will say, we'll serve as your local DJ. If you have something you want to hear us talk about or things that you want us to discuss, please send in those requests. We're pretty much open book. So we'd love to hear what you want to hear more of. We appreciate all the feedback so far. We're really excited to be doing this with you guys in 2025. So we have to start today with your story about the gas station trip today, because it's too funny not to share. So give everybody a little bit of background about your go-to gas station.
Well, there's only a couple gas stations here, around our house. So I hit both of those gas stations pretty frequently. So, the cashiers in there know who I am, go and get my energy drink and gas up. So went into one of them, and the lady in there had told me that I lost a little bit of weight. And I told her that, my routine, I don't really eat breakfast. I just drink a couple cups of coffee or, grab my energy drink. And she told me that I needed to eat a few more of her bacon and egg biscuits that she makes in the morning. So
so basically you went in and she was like, it looks like you're losing weight.
It was a nice little start to the day. My mom over Christmas break said I wasn't a runner like my brother, and I wouldn't be able to fit in my new pants that you got me.
Bob Michelle this break about your weight journey. But what's so comical is this woman, I mean, how old is she? Is she
probably in her 40s or 50s?
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, here she is telling you how you need to eat whatever kind of food she makes homemade because she's worried about your weight loss. Meanwhile, you guys, I'm blowing up the size of a balloon and just waddling behind Eric everywhere because we are officially in our third trimester. We're on baby watch. And I could not feel any bigger right now than I do. I've been telling people I'm the size of a small Walmart, and you're over here getting compliments on your weight loss from the gas station.
It was a great start to the morning. I mean, that's what you need in the morning.
To wonder if this was a pickup line. She was throwing her biscuits at you her biscuits. But either way, it was
you never know. You better watch out.
Not to share. And I just thought that was so funny. So if you have a go-to gas station, we hope that those workers love on you as much as this woman is throwing joy and compliments at Eric. But I just thought that was really, really funny. Let's talk about our fellow parents. How are you guys doing out there? For a lot of you who have school-age kids, your kids are still at home. We are fortunate enough that daycare is back open, but how's everybody doing? I mean, it's been a long Christmas break for us. We sent our daughter back yesterday.
But it's funny because at daycare, they want to know, are you sending your kid or not? And it's just funny to see that on the door in the columns where you can put yes or no.
Yeah.
I think 98% of it was yes. They will be at daycare.
Yeah, because this holiday was so weird. They were closed on the eve and then closed the day of. So for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, New Year's. Did I say that right? New Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Yeah.
But they were open the next 2 days after, and so they wanted to know who was coming, which makes sense. They're like planning staffing and
Right.
probably food. But yeah, everybody was a yes. Everyone was sending their kids back.
Those classes were full.
We did not send our daughter back until yesterday, and oh my gosh, what a morning it was.
Just to get back in the routine.
Oh, it was a nightmare. From the moment we woke up, it was like everything was hard. And, you know, she just turned 3, but yet she was telling us, I don't feel good. I can't go to school. My stomach hurts. I can't go. My back hurts. Like she was throwing out body parts at me. And I'm like, well, I don't care what hurts. You're going to school. Like we need a break. And we had stuff we had to get done. Like that's, I think, the hardest part about Christmas break is, and parents out there can relate, they like Hallie wants to be occupied all the time. Like she needs to be entertained around the clock. So we spend a lot of our days over Christmas at, you know, either my sister's house or they came here and we just traded spots because that was the only way we could survive. I mean,
Find a way to get through it.
Crafts, snacks, Christmas movies, more because the presents weren't enough. I mean, they got like all these new presents.
Yeah, it's amazing. You buy however many presents, and
Yeah.
it buys you about 30 minutes on Christmas, and then they're right back into
What are we
wanting your
doing?
attention. Yeah, where are we
going?
going? Yeah.
Our daughter always asks about a party. What's the party?
Yeah,
Like,
where's the party at?
yeah, where's the
Mhm.
party? What's the next party? Which that's kind of our fault. We made her life too fun.
We do.
Yeah. So
There's always something.
So for all the parents out there at the end of their Christmas break, or you know, sending their kids back to school, we're thinking of you. Solidarity, my friends. That's all I'll say. It's a fun time. It was so magical, but it was also just a long time to all be home.
Well, that
together.
magic goes to Christmas, and then after Christmas, you're like, all right,
Yeah.
I need my normal back.
Yeah, we did do a really cool pretend New Year's Eve, like ball drop, well, balloon drop.
Balloon drop.
Yeah, our sister-in-law and my brother-in-law, your brother, put together a really cool like balloon pool, and we did a fake countdown, and that was really
That
fun.
was fun.
The kids loved that. I think we did that at 5 p.m. Was that right?
It was probably like 6:30, but yeah,
Close to midnight, but
they had fun with it.
they did. And then we had a dance party. So that part was really fun. There was a lot of really, really great high moments. And then there was just these moments where I could not figure out how are we going to get through the next hour. And also like sober Christmas over here because I am in my 3rd trimester. And it's just like I couldn't even comfort myself with a cocktail.
I drank enough for the
You
both of
drank
us.
yeah. So that leads me into like holidays, just when you're dating and navigating maybe early marriage and then into kids. Holidays look so different now for us. And I think your brother Benny made me really realize this for New Year's. Like we used to do a lot of fun things and because we could. So, you know, he went to Nashville. He got to like him and his friends were into the house and he was so nice because he did invite us, but like you don't want us, you don't want us there.
Do you provide daycare past midnight?
3-year-old in a Walmart because we've got those 2 options on the table. But what are your like, I don't know, overview high points of how the holidays have shifted now, how we've navigated them? Because in the beginning we were really young and then college was fun but hard navigating that initially and then pre-Hallie, pre-kids, that was like that was just a totally different time.
Yeah, well, I think we started out in the same space. So like my family had I guess some traditions, whether it be, playing football on Thanksgiving or, opening up presents on Christmas, then going to my grandparents' house in the afternoon, just doing some of those types of things. And so we could make that work when you were still, local, but I think that was only about 3 years of our life, and we're going on 18 now. So for the majority of our life, we had to kind of balance it out. We went to, I think we did Southern Illinois.
Yeah. Well,
where you had some family, but just you have to kind of, I feel like, take a step back and things change over time. You make your own, now we make our own traditions because we are parents and we have to make it magic for our daughter. But, when you don't have kids, incorporating, spending time with your family as well, that's something we had to navigate. So for me being an athlete, I'm like, all right, well, I'll take Thanksgiving. I'm playing in that football game. Can't anymore. I'll wake up and have to lay in a hospital bed for a week. But at the time when I was still young and we didn't have kids, like I wanted to be a part of that. And um, I wasn't as much in on Christmas as you were. So I'm like, that's all yours.
Yeah. Well, when we were in high school, I mean, I vaguely remember doing some holidays together, like an hour-ish, because we were so young. But then in college, your Christmas break, that is the only time you have off. So for us, that was really, well, and you had Thanksgiving break too, but that was a lot of times that we could visit and see each other, but we didn't live in the same place. And then our families were in different places. So that was hard. And yeah, you would have preferred to just be with your family for every holiday because you have so many traditions. I feel like they've kind of faded as you guys have gotten older. And then like with my family, it was just, there were no real traditions, but I still wanted to be around them. But the turkey bowl for me was like such a culture shock because you'd go out for Blackout Wednesday. Like this is how old we are.
Yeah.
And is Blackout Wednesday still a thing?
Mhm.
I feel bad even saying that.
I think so. They probably call it something
We
different, but
blacked out for Blackout Wednesday and drank the
oh,
the
you might have.
breakfast size. Really good.
You dropped a pizza once. I think you blacked out.
Need to bring those kinds of stories up. I mean, come on. I could have dropped it sober too. Like, do you
That's
know who
true.
you're talking to? There was some alcohol involved in that pizza dropping incident. So thank you. But I think okay, so we go out for Blackout Wednesday. We'd be out so late. And then all of these guys would wake up, which is hilarious because any other time, none of y'all would have been able to get out of bed and get up at, I don't know, was it 8 o'clock? It was early. Go out in the freezing cold and play this turkey bowl.
It's a football game.
Any of you guys were actually good at football, and you were, but the rest of that group was it was pretty questionable.
There were some young high school athletes out there.
Okay, maybe there were, but I stopped going. In the beginning, I thought it was cute and fun. And remember, I would get up and go.
It's one of those things that grew as we got older. We started out with maybe 12 guys, so it was like 6-on-6,
Just
and
a few families.
In our last years, it was like 15-on-15. So
it became a Facebook event. It became a Facebook event. So as time went on and I became less amused by this turkey bowl, I would stay home with your mom and we would get everything ready for Thanksgiving, which became one of my favorite traditions, aside from having to actually deal with the turkey.
Help her take out the giblets.
Turkey a bath, like a salt bath. It's so gross. And that, I mean, when we still had your grandma around, she wanted to eat the neck and the giblets, so we would put them on the stove. I cannot. It was but just getting to be in the kitchen with Michelle was fun because she loves to cook. She's good at it. And we had our little routine and she was so patient with letting me try to help. So I got to help with the cheese ball. I helped with the cranberry sauce.
You can put this in the fridge.
I did a lot of dishes, but I was fine with that. I wanted to help. And then moving to Christmas. Yeah, we spent, I think, more Christmases with my family. But it's changed so much. And I will say it was a pain point. We fought a lot about the holidays in the beginning and where we were going to be and how we were going to divide it up. And I think it's a pain point for a lot of people. I also think the holidays put people on edge. And so I think for us, just recognizing balance, and we know a lot of people who just now rotate, your brother does Thanksgiving one year with us and then the next year with his wife's family and they just rotate back and forth. But I will say, you kind of have to remember the reason for the season and not get all caught up in that. And also, if you're in a serious enough relationship as a couple, you are my family. So at that time I knew I just want to be with you, and you have to really be flexible. And this is hard because I think some parents, not us, our parents, our parents are inflexible. And so they don't want to give up their kids or they don't want you to be somewhere else. And so just remember that you are the team, we're a team, and stay united and keep communication open, because I do think it can be a really sticky, stressful situation. I was talking to a girlfriend going through that, and it's just oop. Yeah. Now we just make our own traditions, like you said. And
well, I feel like when you have when you have your own children, it's easier because the whole point of the holiday is to make it magical for them.
Yeah.
So, your priorities change a little bit,
Mhm.
and it's not to say we didn't make it back, to see my family, during the Christmas time at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. We got
It
visits.
wasn't necessarily on Christmas, but we still, celebrated. And
And it keeps the
you
party
you
going.
yeah, you find different ways to incorporate the holidays. It might not be on the actual day, but a 3-year-old doesn't know that.
No. Okay, let's talk about New Year's. So New Year's Eve, we did the pretend balloon, the balloon drop at pretend midnight. And then we were together this New Year's Eve at midnight. Like, I don't know the last time I haven't kissed you at midnight. I can't remember.
Probably last year because you go to bed at like 9:30.
Gosh, that's so aggressive. I'm not the only one who likes to go to bed early, but I'm up early. I'm a morning bird. Dang, you're throwing so much shade. Is that the second one? I gotta up my my game over here. No, because I just I didn't feel good, and I'm so big and I'm so tired. And I wanted you to enjoy your night. I didn't want to be a party pooper. So I was on monitor duty, and that was fine. It worked out. But I was sad because like I woke up and I was like, oh, I didn't start the new year with you. So we made up for it this week. We went on our little 2025 kickoff date.
Mhm.
That's what I'm calling it.
Yeah, we dropped our daughter off at school and saw this. I don't know if it's new, but definitely hadn't seen it before. It's just a little breakfast place right next to her school. So I was like, "Do you want to pop in there?" And she had mentioned that she wanted to do this date and just kind of talk about our 25 plans. And so I was like, "Let's go in there, have breakfast and some coffee, and just lay out what we want to accomplish over the course of 25."
Yeah. So for 2024, I was really big on the vision board thing, and I like drew it out, and I wanted to have everything organized, and I wanted to know what we wanted to accomplish this year. I wanted to be more intentional because I think, the year prior was really, really busy, and we had my job change, and you were starting a new role, and then, obviously having a 2-year-old, it was just, there was a lot going on. And so we made a vision board at the start of 2024 and separated it into like personal and professional. And a lot of it I came up with, but then you started adding to the board too, which was like my favorite part. Like you kind of jumped on the wagon with me for 2024. And so we put it up in our hall, which is like right here, and hung it so that anytime we went into the pantry, which is often, like there it was. And so for 2025, I wanted to do it together and be super intentional. And the categories that we used were personal, professional, financial, and then I put faith on there too, with this idea that we want to list out what each of us want individually and then what we want together. I loved your spontaneity about the breakfast date because that was not planned, but I didn't have my notebook, and I was like, "How are we going to do this without my notebook?" And you're like, "We can put it in the
There's
phone."
notes on your phone. There's
Such a
there's a
tactile
number of
person.
ways to do stuff now.
So we got a fancy napkin here, and we haven't officially put it on our dry erase board. That'll be this weekend's goal. But we did. We made our 2025 goals for individual, personal, individual, professional, and then together financial and faith. And we have a lot of things going on in 2025. We even made a category for the podcast, so that was exciting. But I think the coolest part about getting to do that together was it's not only fun, but it helps us support one another in whatever big dream we have at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it just gives you an idea of what each person is trying to accomplish over the course of the next year. So, there's things that you might want to do in your 5-year like my parents always went off like a 5-year plan. Well, how do you get there? It starts off in these early years, and it's year to year. So how do you accomplish those simple, or not, maybe not so simple things, but how do you accomplish those first steps? Because if you have a 5-year plan, then you could be working towards them, but really not making a whole lot of progress. Whereas if you have a year-to-year plan, you're, like you said, a little bit more intentional on accomplishing those goals.
Yeah, well, and I mean, if we were running a business, so like if our life was like a business, you want to have a 5-year plan and you want to have a big plan, your big goal, and then you want a 5 year, but then you want to backtrack it. And so for me, if all you have are, and if you have a long-term goal without any short-term goals, this goes back to my therapy brain, you're not gonna be able to achieve the long term. So, with us and accountability, like if it was a business, you would have your monthly goals, well, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, and you'd be checking yourself often. So one of the things that we do for accountability is we use a dry erase board, which I love and we use color markers. It's not anything fancy. It's just, again, dry erase board hung up. And so as we go, we're checking in, we're marking things down, we're counting off robots or whatever the goal was. And then we're celebrating. So like my office is here. Whenever Eric would make a sale and come in here, I'd be like, "Do we get it? Do we get it?" And it was a big deal because small victories or little moments, little habits grow into the big accomplishments. And
it gives you a small piece of happy too. When you're marking something off or you have some type of goal or quota to hit and you can check one off or change the number. It's very interactive. So it gives you something to look forward to and pushes you towards, that goal if you need a little bit of extra motivation.
Yeah. And I will say, if you're listening to this and you're in a good relationship, do this with your partner or do this with your friends. I've got a girlfriend where they all got together for girls' night and like had magazines and cut out pictures and like made it really aesthetically pleasing. We just took the route of doing it together because we are each other's best accountability partner, but it's really fun. If you have the freedom to do a date night and have a glass of wine and like make it fun, do that. We are on toddler time, so we do breakfast dates.
Ours was a cup of coffee and an iced coffee. So.
And I love our breakfast dates. It's funny. You told me, Levy, you like breakfast dates.
I'd rather go eat breakfast than lunch. Yeah.
But that's fine. Meet yourself wherever you are, but carve out an hour. It doesn't take more than that and set up like, a napkin. It doesn't have to be fancy, but your personal, professional, whatever is important to you, and then where you guys overlap, where you can support each other, because now we know where we're headed for 2025 and what we want to accomplish. And it was really fun doing that. The other thing I told you was that I want to be better. I kind of fell off the gratitude bandwagon. I was doing really good. I had a little gratitude app, and every single day you had to put what you're grateful for. And the app was just not working. And that's where I think, even typing is hard. I need paper stuff. Like I'm just like with books, I want to flip pages. I'm weird like that. But I want to be more intentional about gratitude in 2025. And so we even talked about using the podcast as a space to celebrate whatever our win of the week was with you guys. And so that would be something that we get to do. And then I read a great, I think it was like Instagram, a couple, they have a couples jar, and every week they put in their like victory lap or what they're grateful for, maybe something about the other one in the jar. And on New Year's Eve, they go through them all together. I just love that so much. I pitched this to you and you were like,
yeah, I'm not as big on that. That's very,
so not you.
You have me at the vision board. Maybe that's a 2026 thing.
Yeah, we're making progress. We're making progress. But whatever works for you, I would say be intentional. It's a new year. And maybe 2024 was a great year for you. Maybe it was a hard year. Maybe it was in the middle. Maybe it was blah, whatever it was, but it's a fresh start. So I think the coolest thing about the new year is like, what do we want to do with it? Where do we want to go? And we can't wait to share with you guys all the cool things that are coming in 2025 for us and our family. There's a lot.
We have a lot going on.
We're officially on baby watch. And with that comes excitement, but also like fear of the unknown and just where the journey is going to take us. So we're glad you're on the ride with us. We're excited to keep you here. Let's be backwards and end on our victory lap this time around, and then we'll start kicking them off. But what's your victory lap of this week? I'm putting you on the spot.
The victory lap of this week is probably just surviving the holidays. We went up to Illinois and we made it back.
Yeah, had a great visit.
Like you mentioned, I still participated in New Year's Eve events, and
you can say it. You were hungover.
I was hungover and had to do an 8-hour drive. So just to get back home and get the house back in order, get back in our routine, I'd say is
Your win.
a big victory lap
Yeah.
right now.
My win was our breakfast date. Like, I feel like we had a great visit with family and friends, and obviously we love seeing people up there. We got to meet a dear friend and his fiance's new baby, which was really cool. But for me, it was the breakfast date and just being able to share that space with you, because just since like last January, it wasn't like you mapped it out with me. You kind of added, well, like now you're
I
kind
added
of
my
like,
robots.
yeah, you're all in for 2025, which makes me excited. But yeah, it's a really great start to the year, and I'm grateful to get to do this with you.
Yeah, I'm grateful too. It's a lot of
You're the
fun.
greatest. Well, that's all we're gonna have for y'all now. Wishing you a happy new year. Hoping you had a great holiday season. Make sure to like, subscribe, share. We're glad to have you with us. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
And remember, no matter where you are on your journey, every step is a chance to grow together during both perfect and even imperfect moments.
We'll be here to help keep the conversation going, so join us next time for more insights, lots of laughs, and our story. Until then, keep talking, keep listening, and keep showing up for each other. See you next time.